Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mountainside Podcast. Our guest for this episode is a musician, producer, songwriter, and a very close friend of mine, Justin T. Freeman. He was able to make it here to Colorado, join us in studio. We dove deep into the depths of his brand new EP. This was a great conversation. I thoroughly enjoy having Justin's company, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. Well. Justin T. Freeman, finally in Colorado. Awesome to have you here, dude.
Thanks, man.
This has been a long time coming, huh?
It has been a while. We've been trying to get it together for some time.
Yeah. We did one in it wasn't a dingy hotel, but it was a nice hotel.
It was pretty nice.
Yeah. Happened to be in San Francisco at the same time.
It was just a dingy neighborhood.
Yeah. Heroin needles everywhere. And,
watch your feet.
So what's up, man? What are you guys doing here? You guys are hanging out for a bit?
Yeah, we just made a trip out of it. We wanted to come see you and do the show, and we're hanging out for the weekend. Just get out of town for a sec.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Is this your guys' first time in Colorado, or?
It is. We were talking about that.
Really?
I know I've gigged here somewhere.
Like with all the touring and everything that you've done? You've been through, but it doesn't count, right?
It doesn't, because I don't remember where it was, but it's been in the tour book several times.
Like, I was on the Denver loading dock one time.
Yeah, totally. That's what it was. Yeah, but never driven around and checked it all out. But
yeah, man, there's a lot to see here. So, do you guys have any specific plans for?
I think we're gonna go to Red Rocks. The Red Rock Park, I think you were saying.
So it's awesome, man. It's a bucket list for sure. So I'm going to tell you about it right now, and for our listeners that don't know about Red Rocks, and if you do, you might learn something, because I love that fucking place, man. It's incredible. But so it's a national park, so there's a ton of trails that you can go through. There's all kinds of caves. There's wildlife running around there, like in the summertime if you do it, or if you're ever here in the spring or fall. Got to watch out for rattlesnakes, because it is like rattlesnake central.
Right.
But this time of year is the perfect time to go, because all the snakes go into hibernation, so you don't have there's no threats really,
just people.
Yeah. Yeah, just crazy people.
Yeah.
But it's cool. You should check the schedule and see what's going on there tomorrow. In the winter, there's not a whole lot that happens.
At the venue?
Yeah, so the park's probably fully open, right? But they do, so you can go actually walk onto the stage if they're not doing a load-in. You can walk literally right onto the stage and hang out.
Really?
And then there's all kinds of athletes that go and train. They run the stairs.
Right.
And the bleachers and stuff.
So it's open for people to
it's a national park.
Do stuff.
Yeah. You could drive around the place for an hour and still not see everything, because some of it you have to access on trails and
Well, that's wild. They let people in the venue to
it's awesome.
Run up the stairs, and that's killer.
It's cool, because if you do a gig there, they kick everybody out for sound check, and then you get the place to yourself. But while you're loading in, it's
a park.
Oh, dude, there's all these hot women running up the stairs.
That is bizarre.
Professional fighters, football players. It's insane. Yeah.
I've never seen anything that.
They do all kinds of crazy stuff there too. They have yoga classes in the morning sometimes. So some in the summer and stuff, that thing is just booked pretty much nonstop. But
so we could just walk in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should be able to walk in there. It's free, right? Because it's a national park. I think it's, Jeremy, you might need to look this up, but I'm pretty sure it's dubbed as a national park, or one part of it is, but you don't have to pay to get in, because I think the concerts make enough money for it.
Right. Yeah. They kind of have a shtick out there to keep the park going.
So you can go all around the park.
Yeah, I don't see anything on the schedule for December.
Okay.
I think it's just empty.
Awesome. And then they do have some winter events, like the dudes from Icelandic Skis that we've had on. They do this whole winter concert where everybody goes in their snow gear, and it snowed before, and they have DJs and all kinds of crazy stuff. But when you guys get there, if depending on where you park, you might have to climb the stairs, so you might get a little winded.
Yeah, we'll take a lot of breaks.
Not used to being at altitude. No, but it's cool, man. And then it overlooks the entire city. So if you're there at night, which you probably won't be, but You can see all the city lights from it.
Wow.
And there's these crazy rock formations. But when you guys get to the very top of the amphitheater, there's it doesn't look like there's much up there, but you go in these double set of doors and there's an actual like museum, and you can go downstairs and there's all these you can access videos from concerts.
Whoa.
And they have a full list of like everybody from since the place opened that's played there. It's like a plaque, so you can go through and see like when Jimi Hendrix was there. Or
I know that's the
U2
spot. Everybody goes. Yeah.
It's awesome. And then they have a restaurant there that's it's decent food, so you guys can like grab lunch there. It's an awesome place, dude. I would definitely spend some time there. Like
I thought it was
gonna
be like a campground with like bad shitters and
No, it might be a little crazy on a Saturday, but no, it's definitely it's worth the check out, and it's a big space, so there's a lot to see.
And the Dinosaur Ridge you were talking about too.
So that's literally like across, I think it's Morrison Way right there, and that's something that you're going to have to hike to, or you can go. They have a museum there, and you can take a tour, and they'll take you like. It's a tour guide, and you get on the bus, and he lets you out at a spot for 15 minutes, and then you get in. But there's dinosaur tracks on the side of the mountain. There's all kinds of stuff up there. It's pretty cool.
We'll see how much we can hit.
Yeah.
We're going to just rush as much as we can.
No, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I think you guys will have a good time. So
we will, for
and
sure.
then once we're done recording this thing, I want to see what you guys are up to tomorrow. I might come hang out with you for a bit. I got some stuff going on with my schedule, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Yeah. But you guys are staying at the Highland Haven?
Highland Haven, yep. Sydney down there hooked us up with a cool room.
Yeah.
We just got there and threw our bags and looked around, and yeah, super cool spot. It's rustic and cool, comfortable. They're very nice.
It's my favorite spot in town, dude.
Yeah.
By far. Like me and my wife, when we got married here, you'll see the lake house tomorrow. So we got married at the lake house.
Oh, that's the one like on the brochure or the website. Whatever.
And that's pretty cool to go check out too. I mean, it
looks huge, man.
Yeah, it's an awesome like log built, it's your typical mountain log lodge, what I mean?
And that's where you got married?
On a lake, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know you got married there. That's cool.
Yeah. We had our ceremony there, but we lived in California at the time. So like,
oh, wow.
It was like a destination wedding in Evergreen.
Right.
But we stayed at the Highland Haven, so that's how I knew about it. And when you hit me up, I was like, dude, this is the spot. Like,
yeah. That's perfect. It's like 3 minutes away or something. Like,
it's not your typical hotel room that we're so used to, It's got some nice amenities. I think they have a breakfast thing there too, or something.
Yeah, they're gonna bring waffles. They got a waffle option, so we checked
to your room.
Yeah,
they didn't do that for me, man.
Yeah, this new stuff. I guess I think it's just for us. So
okay, cool. That makes sense. Yeah, rock star status.
Yeah.
They gotta save room and go to Wildflower.
Yeah, I would.
You might have to crush breakfast there.
Yeah, that's the spot for breakfast or lunch. I mean, those are both. But
they do lunch there at the cafe.
That's a staple, dude. Like you should hit it one of the days that you're here. Like go in there, check them out. If Colin's in there, tell him that the Mountainside sent you in and you were on and stuff. So
right on.
They're good people too. So
it looked cool. I looked at their website and stuff, and I was looking at the menu because you talked about it.
Yeah, if you got to wait for 30 or 40 minutes, it's worth the wait for sure.
Wait.
Yeah, it's a jam.
It's a good spot.
That's
why Jeremy moved here.
Oh, wow. It must be really good.
It's really good. 1,700 miles for the omelet. It was awesome.
Nice.
No, it's an awesome spot. And then, dude, we did the Christmas special, and you were on that, so that was awesome. And it was a good time.
Yeah, I was at my drum room. I'm banging my drums. I'm like, how am I going to know when Bobby calls? Because I got headphones. It's just so loud. And so I took my phone and I gaff taped it to one of my cymbal stands, and I'm playing, and it lit up, and I was like, oh shit, and like untaped it and was like, hey, what's up?
Dude, thanks for being a part of that. That was fun.
Yeah,
it was a good night. So crazy. We were talking about Italian food, and I'm 60% Italian, by the way. We got Justin's wife in studio with us, and Justin was telling me that you make all kinds of crazy Italian food.
Well, we made tortellinis and lasagna for
food to me, because I don't know how to make a tortellini. Bro.
Yeah, it's pretty messy, dude. we have a machine, her grandmother's machine.
Like a pasta roller?
It's
or
a
something?
pasta roller, yeah. And you hand crank this thing. So you make the dough and you stick it in the top and crank it out and make it real thin. Keep running it back through and make this really thin dough. And then you put the, stuffing, the tortellini stuffing out. I don't know, it's cheese.
Like ricotta cheese or
ricotta
something like that.
Stuff, I don't know.
I'm hungry.
I know. Italian food tomorrow.
Man. I love Italian food.
But yeah, we made a bunch of that for the family. We're going to have family over for Christmas, and, we froze it all, and we're going to break it out, and
that's awesome.
The fresh stuff, it's always better.
Like, homemade stuff is the best, dude, like, from scratch. Like, that's what I remember about my grandmothers, like, making their own pasta and making their own, like, donuts or whatever
it's a different world, right? Like, it's not...
It's not the same.
No, it's a different game.
Yeah, you can't just buy that wax in a box and pour it in hot water and let it go. Like,
different. This is Italian
it's a different
food.
level. Yeah. Yeah, especially like if you go to Italy or something like that, that's even like a whole nother level because those recipes have been around for thousands of years or whatever.
Yeah,
it's insane.
My family's been making this for 1,500 years.
When they say it's a family restaurant, it's literally a family restaurant because they don't want anybody to steal their recipes. Like,
right. Yeah.
There's a few spots like that we went. It was like, this is my dad. That's my grandpa. That's my little sister. Like,
all these people are my family.
Yeah. Like, they make their own wine, all that.
Let's go to Italy tomorrow.
Yeah.
You want to go
I
to
had
Italy?
no idea because I didn't really know my dad. I had no idea. Like, I knew I had a tiny bit of Native American blood. I have, I think I'm German, and I have some Norwegian blood. I don't know. I'm a mutt. But then all of a sudden it came back. My in-laws got me this like genealogy thing.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah, because I don't really know my dad's lineage or anything. Like, he was super distant with his family, and I barely knew him.
It was just lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, totally lost in the shuffle. So that came back, and I was like 60% Italian. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
That's a lot of that's a lot of percents, dude.
Yeah, I went and bought a pinstripe suit the next day, dude.
Yeah,
I was like,
of course.
Here comes Goodfellas.
Yeah, I'm Italian. 60%. That's more than half.
Yeah, so now I feel a little bit more connected to Italian food. I was like, that makes a lot of sense why I like it. But I think who doesn't like Italian food?
I don't know, weirdos.
Yeah, for sure.
That stuff's good. Yeah, I want to do one of those. I was thinking about it because I just don't know.
Right.
It's lost in the mix too. I don't know what I am.
It's crazy though, because now I get all these emails. It's like, this is your 5th removed cousin in fucking France or something.
They're trying to like connect you and stuff. Yeah, no thanks.
I don't think they're trying to connect me, but like the app shows you that, and I'm kind of like,
yeah, they
damn
are.
it. They're like, they're after all my podcast money.
Yeah.
No, they're harvesting all that info for something, man. I don't know. I don't like it. I did it too. Aaron bought it for us, and it was just like, yeah, cool, let's do it.
Right.
And now it's like 6 years later, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I get an email like once a week, like, this is
idea.
your cousin that signed up for the
You're in the
thing, and,
database now. Somebody's going to be like, bring everybody to this room that's more than 50% Italian.
Yeah.
And I'm
gonna get charged
execute them
with
or
treason
something.
or some shit, dude. Like,
you're fucked now, dude.
Yeah.
You're in the system.
Oh man, there's so much of that shit going on in the world where like your past is, I don't know. Let's not even go down that. Let's talk about your new EP,
road.
man. Like, it came out. Was it last month?
Week ago today. I think it was last Friday.
Really?
Was the official.
God damn, I'm way off. I mean, I remember as soon as it hit Apple Music, I went and downloaded it.
Rad.
And I was sitting in a hotel room. I was kind of telling you this like prior to jumping on.
Yeah.
And I listened to it front to back, six tracks, right?
Yeah.
Songs. Would you call it a song or a track?
Yeah, I don't know the official term.
Okay.
6 tracks.
6 tracks.
Sure. I'm not that hip, so.
Yeah, it's and the tracks are not short either. Like,
no, it's
they're not radio. They are radio material, and I don't mean to.
No, I know what you mean.
But like, you know how radio has that cookie cutter, like it's got to be 3.5 minutes or whatever.
3 minutes, 25 seconds.
Right? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know,
yeah.
something like that. 3
Something
minutes.
Stupid.
It's the. Yeah, I don't know what you call it. It's the sign of the times, man. It's pop music. It's more easily digestible.
Yeah,
I guess to more people. like that. And I was venturing into shorter format songs with this because a lot of my singles that I was doing before this, 8, 9 minutes, 7, 8 minutes, long songs that would never get anywhere close to a radio. And these ones are somewhere between 5 and 6 minutes, something like that. So
they were a little bit shorter than like some of your other tracks, I think.
Trimming it down a little bit. But yeah, it's a little over a half hour, I think, front to back. And that's the way it's intended to be listened to from front to back. It's a story,
Well, I want to dive deep into this, dude, because I'm genuinely curious. Like,
all right.
I really am, man. Like just the artwork and everything. And I don't want to compare you to anybody, but because that's not what I do. And we mentioned this in the last podcast, but I'm a major Tool fan, dude. And
sure, yeah.
The reason why is because of how they've held out from, being with the rest of the mainstream group, right? Like, I don't even think their music was digitally downloaded for.
You couldn't get it it's 6 months ago, a year ago or something.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, you couldn't even get it.
And it's because they wanted you to have like the artwork, the story behind it. And if you've ever owned an actual Tool CD or an album, it's fucking insane.
It does stuff. Like, yeah, one of them came with like glasses, and you could, it had like this 3D stuff. You
it
would
was
look
like a
at,
whole
would
book.
Move around. Yeah. And did you get the latest one?
No, I haven't.
So Tanya and I bought it, and we were like, we pre-ordered it. It got there. We knew it was going to be super cool,
Right.
So we're like, beanbags, dark room. We're going to listen to this whole fucking album. Like,
the
way
you should.
People used to do it, and I hadn't done that in a while because there wasn't just something huge and epic that like screamed, do this, and
right.
So anyway, that one has a movie screen in it, and it plays a video that I don't think you can see anywhere else. Yeah, you unfold the thing and there's a fucking TV inside of the CD case.
Okay,
and it plays a movie.
Yeah, I don't even know where you'd buy a fucking CD now. I guess you have to order it probably and have it sent to you, right? I would imagine.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it from whoever was selling it.
Is there even a record shop in Denver? Like, there used to be this place called Twist and Shout or something that sells all kinds of like. So there's got to be a vinyl store or something where you could probably pick it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're few and far between, dude. They used to be everywhere. I used to go buy used CDs like punk rock because a lot of stuff you couldn't even, like some of those EPs the bands would put out when they were on tour, they were a one-shot deal and you couldn't find them. So like, dude, I had a garage sale one time when I was living in Redondo and I had all these, like my whole collection. I was like, all right, time to get rid of the CDs, which I regret. I think it's that story of the car you always sold that you wish you had, like that typical story. But the lead singer of the Adolescents showed up at my garage, and he's kind of a strange dude, man. Like, but it was cool. It was like, what the fuck, like.
Were you selling the CDs there?
And he bought the whole entire lot. He's like, how much for the whole thing? And I was like,
$100.
Dude, I don't know, make me an offer. And he's like, $300 or whatever it was. And I was like, sold. I mean, it was a tote like full of just nothing but punk rock.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
but it was cool because I was like, I was going to give it to him for whatever price he wanted. He's the lead singer of a punk rock band. I was like, nobody's going to put this to more use than this.
Yeah, you're going to use it.
This dude's not going to throw it away. So So that's kind of a cool little backstory. But I've always enjoyed having like something in my hand, and I think that it's cool that you're offering that and the artwork behind it. So I want to get deep into this. Like, congratulations, dude, on all that with everything that's been going on, and like, I think it's rad. Yeah,
it's been it's been a ton of work. I think I started in February, and it just came out Friday. Yeah, and I work on it all the time, like not 8 hours a day, but it's something. There's a lot of things that need to happen.
Right?
Yeah. So it's
no, you can tell you put the work in. And then when I was asking you about it on the Christmas special, I was like, "What does that track mean?" or whatever. You're like, "Did you open it?" I was like, "No, I'm saving it for the like collector series." You know, because I just figured there was just a CD in there. So for you to take it We're gonna get into that, but
yeah. We should open it. I'll get you another one.
Okay,
let's check it out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's definitely do that. So it dropped a week ago. Where is it available? Like, how do people actually get their hands on one?
The best place is at my website, justintfreeman.com. You can get it directly from me. I'll mail it to your house, and that's
nice.
That's the best place for me, so to support. So otherwise, if you can't afford it, you can check it out on YouTube. You can buy it from iTunes,
right?
All the regular places. You can listen to it on Spotify, and it went out everywhere. So
yeah, no, it's awesome. I downloaded it from iTunes, so
yeah,
and it's the full jam. But I'm subscribed to Apple Music or something or whatever that is.
Yeah, there's so many platforms, and you get a distributor, and they help you get it out to all those places, and just so it's people have their preferences, So people are Spotify friendly or whatever.
So when you were making this or in the process, we were in New York together or something, right? Like I can't remember. We were on a long car ride.
Yeah.
And you were kind of telling me about like the concept behind the album. So I want to go through that front to back because I thought it was super interesting when you were telling me, and then now that I've listened to it, it's even more. So
was I playing you some demos or something like back
I think you sent me some demos, but they weren't like mastered or anything. And then but to hear every song like front to back and then kind of what your concept was with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the best way to explain that is, and I want to go deep with it. Like, I don't know if you want to go track by track or.
Yeah. That will work. I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
So the story, I was doing all those singles, right?
Yep.
Like back before all this EP stuff, and. They were kind of going across a couple different genres, and, I was, just kind of playing what was making me happy that day,
And I'm going to slow you down for just a minute. Those are fucking awesome too, dude. Like Surrender and Diesel are one of my favorites. Like you put part of Diesel on Show Readies.
Yeah.
Intro, like.
And I'm super glad I had done all those, and I had done it that way, because I had to go through that to get to this,
Right.
And I still have more songs like those singles that I will go back to, I'm just chameleon, or I can go kind of where I want, and I like doing that,
That's kind of your artistic side, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not
you're not dedicated to one genre, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm metal focused, probably more heavy, hard, but I have some softer stuff too. But this latest thing, the EP was really I went through all those singles, and then this is I was just myself.
Right.
I don't know how else to say it. I wasn't really reaching for this sound. Right? I was just like, I'm gonna sit down and record, and what comes out is gonna be what it is, And like it would take me a month to record a single, and I'd be getting really deep into the riffs and changing notes around, and like how can I just take this to the next level, which was cool. I grew a lot from it, but this I was like, okay, this is a picture of where I am right now.
And just for the listeners that don't know, you play pretty much every instrument on, except for like the shredder guitars or something, right? Like
I do rhythm guitar and drums.
Okay.
And then the rest of the stuff is outsourced to session players.
Okay.
And then I do all of the mixing.
But you've done some of the bass tracks too, haven't you?
I've done a few. Yeah. I have. I'm not against that, I guess. Right. But I found it cool to get other musicians to get in there, So it's not just me the whole fucking time.
A little bit more of a collaboration.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Okay, so we were going. I keep sidetracking you. I'm really fucking good at that. But we were talking about how you kind of opened up on this album and like what the concept of it is and kind of the backstory and just like I want to dive deep into that.
So the first track, Impel, that was just going to be the next
single. And this
single.
is Energy of the Archetypes.
Energy of the Archetypes. And that we can get into that after we go through the tracks. There's some stuff in there too. Sure. So Impel, the first track, that was just going to be the next single.
Okay.
That was going to be number 10 or whatever. But I got that song written and I sent it out to musicians and I was getting some good feedback. And I'm playing it in my car and I'm like, I really dig this vibe, People are liking it. It's it feels really good. And I was like, you know what, if I can just stay in this vein for a set of songs.
Right.
It's something I wanted to do. It's a lot bigger piece to bite off than just doing one song. So I committed to 6, in the vein of this style of song. So Impel was kind of the seed for the rest of the stuff. And then once I decided that's like, I'm going to do an EP with this type of music for this many songs with these people, I just wrote down on a piece of paper what this was going to be. I was like, okay, here's an outline. I had the one song and I was like, this is what the songs are going to be. This is what the titles are.
So do you pick, when you're doing that process, is it a subject matter or is it kind of an idea like this song is going to be about X, this song is going to be about Y? Yeah,
so I got the people list on top. I have the down to who's going to do the artwork. I'm really fleshing it out. I'm like, okay, this guy, I like his artwork. I'm going to hire him to do the painting and starting to figure out this concept. This person's playing bass, this person's singing, and this person's writing the lyrics, and these are the titles of the song. And what that the subject was, I'm gonna go back earlier into COVID land. So at the beginning of COVID, I've always been interested in when the Hubble Space Telescope started zapping pictures back of these cool nebulas and pictures of different galaxies and all this deep space, deep imaging where you can see 1,000 galaxies in one shot. That stuff always blew my mind over the years. And then I saw a video on YouTube called Time Lapse of the Future. Okay. And it's a half hour long and it's really well done and it'll blow your fucking mind. It's really cool. I would suggest all my friends to check it out. And I watched that somewhere early in COVID and it just got my gears turning. And then, check it out.
Yeah.
And basically what it is a time lapse from today until trillions and trillions of years from now, right?
Really?
And they took input from physicists, astrophysicists, and the smartest people around today. Yeah, that's it. You can see it taking up. And it just gets faster and faster and faster. And, it's like what happens to the planet Earth, what happens to the galaxy, what happens with all this stuff.
So it's beyond just the planet Earth, which I think a lot of stuff is focused on, right? All the time.
Dude,
now we're starting to
everything.
Open our minds to
it's
it a
the
little
universe.
Bit. Yeah.
And it's
beyond the
where it goes.
Yeah.
What happens in the end. What is it, And it's theory, but it's made by smarter people than me, and it just makes you think, and there's the galaxy we live in, the Milky Way, right? There's, they say, don't take, I'm YouTube scientist. Right. I don't fucking check my numbers. I don't know that much, but I know a little bit, and they say there's 200 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way, right? Uh-huh. And we're one of those, right? And then there's billions of those galaxies, right? So there's
it's infinite.
You can't calculate it, you know.
Right.
They try, and the numbers are just like they go all the way down the page, you know.
Right.
And that trips me out. It just makes me think, and I really enjoyed it, you know. And it's like they talk about when the Earth is gone, like it's going to be gone one day, you know.
Right. Every star burns out, right, at some point.
Yeah. So the sun, our sun that we float around, when stars die, and they know that, like stars explode, they die in several different ways, you know. But they think that when our sun dies, that it'll expand, right? At first,
it's gonna explode.
Yeah, and it will come out into Earth's orbit, and like it will be gone, you know. And then it implodes. Once it gets so big, it collapses on itself and turns into a white dwarf or something, like it's like a dead star, you know. That kind of shit makes me think, you know. It gets me. That's what I think about laying in bed.
I'm thinking about it right now. Like,
it's
what the fuck, man? Like, maybe your Starbucks coffee that wasn't made perfect isn't so important, right? Or whatever.
Dude, you know, that's a lot about what it is, because when the, you know, I don't know how to say it, right? Like when the world shut down and COVID and we all lost our jobs and all the bullshit happened, like we're kind of in crisis, you know? And like I'm looking for something, you know? And I'm looking for it out there. I don't know how else to say it, you know? Like,
Sure.
yeah, how do we make sense of all this shit? You know, and it still doesn't make sense.
None of it's making sense.
It's
it would
not
help if somebody was telling us the truth.
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a good start, yeah. But I was looking for something, you know, clearly, you know, because then I just went down the rabbit hole and started watching a lot of these other educational
Have you always been into astronomy, or like that would be classified as astronomy, right? I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a smart guy.
Yeah,
Dumb
I'm
mountain
very, yeah. I'm just on the outskirts here, but the most I was not always, no, but like when I started seeing that Hubble telescope stuff, like I would see this stuff in deep space, and I'm like, what? And the one that really blew me away was Hubble Deep Field. If you Google that,
I want to see some of these images that you've looked at, because
it's fucking bananas, dude.
Yeah.
So the story behind this photo right here is like, if you want to work,
and this is the actual photo.
This is it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
If you want to use the Hubble Space Telescope, you got to like have some pull.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't let just people just point it at shit and just be like, you know what I mean? Like,
you got for it. You got 20 minutes, bro.
Yeah. So this guy had a spot. You know, he's like, okay, I get to use the telescope. You know, I'm a scientist. I'm a smart guy. They're like, where do you want to point it? And he's like, I want to point it at that blank spot in the sky. And they're like, what are you high? Why do you want to point it at that? There's nothing there, right?
Right.
He's like, just point it there and just leave it there for my whole entire time, and just let the exposure go. He's like, trust me, I think there's something there. And everyone thought he was crazy, and then this is what they got.
Oh shit.
And you can see all these spiral galaxies. You know, this is a tiny, minuscule piece of the sky.
It's a pixel in a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see hundreds of, spiral galaxies. Like,
Yeah.
they're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. And it's the tiniest piece of the sky that was black, you know?
That's insane.
Right. So when I saw that 10 years ago, 15 years, 20, I don't know how long ago it was, that's when the gears started turning.
Jeremy, are those facts about it there on the right? What is it's taken in September?
Oh, 2006.
2006, yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't that long ago.
No.
That's wild, though, man.
No, they're just finding this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're sending a new telescope that's the James Webb telescope is going up like any day now.
Okay.
And it's the size of a school bus, and does way more stuff. Like, this thing's pretty old. The Hubble.
Right.
It's
been around for a long time, right?
Yeah, they got a brand new one that does a ton of new stuff.
Jeremy, pull up some facts about the new one. Let's see how much more badass it's going to be. And
Dude, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's called
which one was that?
James Webb.
James Webb.
Yeah. It's supposed to do all this new infrared, like, new stuff.
Damn, dude.
And it's going
Looks cool. It looks like a transformer.
It is. They have to fold it to fit it inside the rocket, and then they're going to send it way farther out, and it, like, unfolds. And
wow.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Dude, some of the technology and stuff, like, my kid got super into, and we're actually trying to get one of the astronauts on the podcast, and we're talking with him. So I hope it happens.
Oh,
but
that would be sweet. Yeah.
Elon Musk did that SpaceX thing in 2020, and it was the first all civilian like team to actually go to space, right? Like Jeff Bezos and them have been up in like orbit, or Peter Granson or whatever that dude is.
Sure, yeah.
Like, but they haven't. Some people debate whether it was space or not, right? Like they broke the atmosphere for like a split second.
Technically, it was space, yeah.
Technically, it was a really, really high flight, but
yeah.
But these guys went beyond where any astronaut has orbited. They went beyond that and then orbited the Earth. So it was like, and one of them was a doctor that had cancer. One guy was super into aviation. He was some rich dude that like had his own private jet or something. And I think one dude was a school teacher, and then they brought an artist. So it's 2 females and 2 males, and it was just like they were average. It's a great thing. It's on Netflix. It's all
it's like a program they have.
It's an 8 or 9 part series. Yeah, you should go check it out. I forget what it's called.
No, it sounds interesting.
Jeremy will look it up here in a minute. But no, that telescope looks insane. So just seeing what they could do with like the technology, they were kind of explain that in this. Like, this is how we used to launch rockets. This one's reusable now. We can go so much faster, so much further. We can orbit further and still know that we're going to make it back. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And they did it. They went far. That's
and they weren't like some high tech, like the best humans you could find out there, right? They like
they're civilians.
The team that they picked were actually like kind of normal people, and they put them through this training where they climbed. I think it was Mount Kilimanjaro or some shit, like for the training, like as a team building thing. It's a good little
I'm gonna check it out. That's interesting.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's on Netflix. I think
that stuff, that deep field picture, got me going. And I was like looking at the pictures. I would get emails about the new picture of the day.
Dude, I'm gonna start looking that shit up
for
now.
Years. Yeah. So I'd been interested in that, and then I saw this time lapse of the universe, and started watching just a lot more in the last couple years, I guess.
That's awesome. Jeremy's got this pulled up. It's Countdown, Inspiration for Mission to Space.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cool. It's well done. Cool little series.
Yeah. They should send me, dude. I'm available, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
If you need to send a drummer up there.
Well, I think that they're going to keep doing this. Like, they're going to pick, and I think you apply, or I don't know. You should watch this because it tells you how to.
I'll just send him an email.
I am not going to go with you, bro. Like, I'm going to wish you, like, I'll close the door for you and press the button. But
and go. Yeah. Go for launch.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I'd go.
Yeah.
Either. I'd have to have a good think about that, but I'm glad they are.
It's pretty wild because it showed that interaction with it. Like, some of these people had, or most of them had kids or family or whatever, in that interaction, like, should I do it or should I not? Like, you're risking your life, Like,
dude,
you don't
shit
know.
might explode, man.
And we're going further than astronauts have, and I'm just a normal person,
Sure.
Like, what the fuck? Like,
They're like, we got you.
I would fuck it up somehow. I'd get drunk up there or something, and like
it'd be like a bad space movie. Yeah, fucking Bobby, don't do it. Yeah. Fucking
close the door.
I'm just going for a little walk. Yeah. Wild. Yeah. So all that stuff, you get my meaning.
Totally
like I'm into that stuff. So, doing this album, I set out the timeline, dude, and I'll tell you what it is. Like, there's Impel. That is was loosely Dude, it was funny. When I wrote this list, I was like, it was the rough draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were ideas I sent to the guy who writes the lyrics, Phil Kay. He's a lighting guy. Known him forever. And he's a poet. He's a masterful lyric writer. So I gave him my ideas. And I tell him, I'm like, dude, I feel like I just draw some fucking stick figures on a paper and you just bring me back this, this
the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail. Here you go, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? Right. But a lot of this is who you work with, so like he's an awesome dude and super talented. But I laid out this theme for him and I'm like, this is what's in my head. This is what it's about. So Impel was the Big Bang, right? Like the beginning of the universe as far as they can track it back, Luna was in some of these videos there's the theory of how the moon was created, right? Mm-hmm. In the early solar system there was more planets than there are now, and the orbits were all fucked up. And the theory that a lot of these smart people believe in is that there was two planets. There was the pre-Earth, wasn't even Earth yet, and there was another planet, and their orbits crossed, and these two planets crashed into each other.
What's the name of that other planet? It's supposed to come back, isn't it?
Oh gosh,
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Second Earth. It's is that what it is?
Well, that's the idea. Is these two protoplanets crashed into each other and blew the shit out of what is now Earth, broke it in fucking half or whatever. And all the shit flew out into the orbit, and that stuff consolidated and turned into the moon.
Okay.
Right? That's the running theory.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a picture of some shit smashing into each other. Dude, something like that. Yeah. So that gets my gears going too, like. Yeah,
that's wild.
And that was, they say like 4 billion years ago or somewhere around there.
Well, they're going to cancel some gigs if that happens.
Yeah.
You
think we're in a pandemic?
That's going to throw a wrench into my schedule.
We would be done. We would be fucking done, dude.
Well, how big was the Big Bang Theory? How big was that comet that hit Earth? It wasn't that big. It was only like, I think it was like the size of Wyoming or something, wasn't it?
No, that's not the Big Bang.
Oh, okay. So this is the Big Bang
got
Theory.
The party started.
Yeah. What's the one that killed all the dinosaurs then?
I don't know. I forget the name of that one.
That wasn't that big, dude.
Like some kilometers, 10 kilometers or 12 kilometers, something like that.
And it wiped out the planet, basically.
It wiped out a lot of it, yeah. The fucking dinosaurs took it on that one, Which would be cool to go to Dinosaur Ridge and check out some of their bones or something.
It's crazy. You can see where it's like, I don't know what kind of dinosaur it is. I always say it's a crocodile, but
wrong dinosaur.
But no, like the prints some of them are as big as this table, and some of them are really strange. Like, if you take the tour,
we should watch that after.
The tour might be worth it for you because the geologist took us to one spot, and there was a brontosaurus track, and it's like the size of this fucking table, dude.
What, a foot?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But it's weird. So to get geological, so the Front Range, right? So where the mountains meets the plains, and the mountains pushed up through the plains.
Yeah.
I think it was a lake bed or something, and he'll be able to explain this way better to you. So don't take anything that I'm saying.
I'll be like, that's not what Bobby said.
Geologists are rolling over in their graves right now.
Oh yeah.
We should have one of them on, actually.
Yeah.
But basically, there's these plates, and that's what created red rocks. So there's these surface plates, right, or water plates, or whatever they call them. Well, some of them flipped completely over.
What?
So the brontosaurus track is actually inverted, so you can like stick your head up in it.
That's bananas.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's
see
another
that.
mind fuck. So yeah.
These all are
awesome.
all of this stuff. There's no real answers at the end of the road, and that's kind of like see if you could play that, dude. Just watch this thing, Bobby. It should be like a sped up simulation of what
happened.
Yeah,
Of the car wreck.
It's a car wreck. It's bad.
Well, I think this is a simulation. This is supposed to be the moon colliding with this is. So this
Oh,
is the,
so this is
this is the
after
moon's
that.
already been created.
So this is what's coming.
Yeah. That's what we have to look forward to.
You know, it's interesting that the moon is actually getting farther away from the Earth, like a quarter inch a year or something like
Really?
that. Yeah, and you fast forward, the moon's going to spin off into. At some point, it'll.
Did you see it tonight?
Yeah.
On your guys' way up?
Yeah.
Badass up here.
It looks
pretty cool.
awesome. All right, I'm gonna run through the rest of this list because it's so.
Dude, we're in no hurry either. So like, this is fun, man. I'm enjoying this.
So Impel was like the Big Bang, the creation of everything. It's like in chronological order, right?
Yeah.
So just a couple points in time. So that was Impel, the beginning, the Big Bang. Luna, like the creation of the moon and the earth. And then Turn is that about like a what do they call it? Like when the comet hit and killed the dinosaurs.
Okay.
Right. So that's that
like
period of time. It's
alpha.
it's turning. Yeah. Like your turn is over, or I don't know. It's like a turn the page, whatever. It's
mass extinction.
a mass extinction event.
There you go.
That's what I was looking for.
Thank God you're here, Jeremy.
I know. Thank God. Mass extinction events are interesting to me. I like going to
insane, yeah.
museums on tour or whatever, going to LA and
You definitely should pay to take the tour for this tomorrow then, because they talk about a lot of that and what happened and why this place is so special. And it's crazy.
If it's boring, I'll just
And
jump off the train and go
Exactly,
Jurassic Park
yeah.
on his ass.
Or go walk. Yeah, you can walk it. It's not that. I mean, it's not too crazy. It's a couple 3 miles or something.
Oh, smash. Oh, look out. Wow. Collision
That's
that
crazy.
formed the moon. And this is a pretty popular theory. Like, it's not just,
Right.
a couple of guys made it up a lot. A lot of those real smart astrophysicists believe this is what happened,
So this is like is this a video that you?
Yeah, this is a longer version.
So what are they showing us here? One planet headed towards the other one?
Yeah, it's about to get real greasy here.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So one looks like the moon almost, and one looks like it's completely full
That's
of water and vegetation.
So smoked it.
Wow.
And just, it had already been sitting there building itself for 1 billion
So
years.
there's our core right there. That's why we have hot lava.
Yeah. And look at this chick. She looks smart, dude.
Yeah.
She's like, this is what happened.
So like,
Robin
I watch
Canuck.
all of these, and like you were saying, they figured out that the moon's moving a quarter of an inch farther from, and we have all this like a theory that the of how the moon was formed, all of that stuff, and we can't figure out some of the easiest shit in the world, but we can figure out that the moon's moving a quarter of an inch farther.
Yeah, we can't figure out how to program the traffic lights without
that's what I'm
getting
saying.
people run over. Yeah.
I could go on all night.
How about how to end world hunger? Like, that's a good fucking start right there. That's one thing that pisses me off, dude, especially when these billionaires dangle a carrot like Elon Musk. Like, hey, if you can tell me, and I get why he did it, but did you see that whole thing in the media?
I did. I loved
saw
it.
that,
because
I think it's
the people
awesome,
that he was
too.
talking
He was
to
calling
just
them out, right?
Incinerate the money, and he's just like, yeah, he's called them out on their bullshit. So I get what you're saying though. Yeah. That it's like,
But it pisses me off that we can't get that together. Like, he's saying, you show me how to do it.
I saw
and
that
I will put up the money. If it's a money issue, I'll fucking
He
pay for
replied to somebody on
Right.
social media, right? They're like, oh, Elon Musk could fix this with 2% of his profits from a year or something like that. And he replied to it. He's like, yeah, just draw me up the plan and send it to me.
Yeah, they're
exactly.
trying to like pry into his into his pocket or into his wallet.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't having it.
Yeah.
There's so much corruption out there. It's hard to know where every dime goes to every
Oh, and
thing.
there's so much of that shit that's
everybody's
coming out
skimming
right now.
off the top.
Yeah.
Well, all these politicians that are involved in, day trading and all this stuff, and like,
Dude, that's
That's all starting to come out right
Dude,
now.
Pelosi's
and
Oh, really?
Pelosi's worth
insane.
$250 million or something. Like something, hundreds of millions of dollars.
It's insane.
It's like, oh,
Hey,
Dude, if you want to listen to a really good news podcast that's kind of unbiased and just they do like a daily thing, Breaking Points. It's only about 6 months old. They don't have any sponsors. They don't take any sponsors, so it's all like, kind of a self-funded thing. They're news anchors that got fired, so they actually know how to present shit.
Oh, nice.
And,
They know what
and
they're
they'll
doing.
tell both sides of the story, but it's
What's it called? Oh, that one right
Breaking
there. Breaking
Points. Yeah, it's
there you
Crystal
go.
and Sauger. Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot that. I didn't know the name of their actual show.
They're pretty
but
good,
I
man.
know Crystal Ball.
because I'm so over the political division right now. Like,
It's
I'm
half
just
and
over
half,
it,
man.
dude. It's like, yeah. So, but anyways, let's not even go down that politics.
maybe
road,
maybe that goes into why I'm looking into fucking outer space, dude, because I can't stand the shit either.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, the news drives me bananas. I haven't watched it for years just because
That's good.
I don't
man.
know who to believe.
Yeah.
So I just turn it off. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to take what I can see
100%,
and listen to
yeah.
people that I trust. And that's it, and when it got like so much, like, when it happened, when the bomb dropped and it all turned on all at once, I had to tune out, dude. I was like, I'm looking at.
I did a lot of the same thing. Like, Jeremy's more of like, we're perfect podcast partners because he's more of like a tuned in.
Yeah.
And I'm more of like, whatever, dude. Like,
Tuned out.
I'm just doing my own thing, bro.
That's how I managed to go bald in 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, dude?
It'll-
They're all lying to us.
It'll wreck you. And
Yeah.
you know that I've dove into some of that stuff before too. I mean, I've looked at the grease that's out there, and
Well, the sad part is you're not going to find like an inspirational story in that end of it, right? It's all disappointment.
yeah, they're all shitty
100%.
endings.
Yeah.
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 It's all disappointment.
It's
Like,
you said that you went down a rabbit hole once it all happened, a YouTube rabbit hole, and I'm like, boy, did you pick the right one? Because like you could go in some really dark directions.
oh yeah, totally.
Where the it's just a dead end. And,
Yeah.
and you went down the one that kind of opened up some avenues and stuff.
Yeah, you could have went on the conspiracy train for
something
fucking
creative.
any conspiracy
Something
out
creative
there.
Yeah, no,
came out of it,
Yeah.
which is unique. I don't know many people who have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't.
We're all in the same game. Like
Yeah,
we
we're
all
very
suffered. We all
similar.
suffered the same kind of shock.
Yeah,
and-
for sure.
Yeah. So maybe that's just what I chose. And
And it's crazy because you and I are sitting here right now because of all that too.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, well,
there
you too.
has been
You-
some
you-
good
look at
shit
what-
that's
look at
come
what you
out of
did.
it. Yeah.
It was pretty along the same lines.
Right.
being positive and moving forward and doing something with
Yeah.
yourself. There's a lot of different ways people coped with it.
Yeah, and even if it's like for me, I guess the way I look at it is, I don't know, and I'm trying to be a better person because now I actually have people listening to me. You know what I mean? So it's made me a better person
Sure.
in some form or fashion, but I'm also trying to be true to myself, right? But I think one thing that I've never been afraid of and why I went out and toured with rock bands and stuff is because I wanted to do it. And I didn't start there. Like everything was like, how do I get to this point, right? And you find a seed and you just water it a little bit every day. And, I started off in a fucking smoky bar with 3 people watching a band, and I was like tuning a guitar or something, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even know how to tune a guitar, but I was like, yeah, I'll fucking do it, dude. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't even have to pay me, like.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later,
You're sitting in
Yeah,
fucking
why
Tupac's
not?
Dinosaur, fucking trying to
Kanye's.
Yeah.
Actually, that was about 8 years, and then
All right.
when I kind of was like, okay, this might be the pinnacle, and I feel like I kind of missed the curve of all the cool shit that happened when, like, back in like the 70s and shit, when people were touring, and like early 80s with those hair bands, and like probably would have killed myself on one of those, by doing way too many drugs or drinking way too much or partying too much. I don't know if I would have had any success like the career I had, in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, when I was like flying around the world on charter jets, just going gig to gig and pointing at stuff, I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I wanted to do. And then kids came along. I was like, fuck. The best thing that ever happened to me, but it's like I never realized because I was just so focused in tunnel vision on chasing that dream, and it took hard work and 20 years to get to that point.
Dude, yeah, you people give up the
but I gave it all up just because there was a bigger carrot there to dangle. I was like, okay, I can write this off. I feel like I accomplished this. It's time to be a dad now, and that's even harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be a good dad. Like,
yeah, you could point at them and they won't
management, yeah. Well, and I think some guys don't get that coming off the road too. It's hard if you're a road guy. You got to tell everybody what to do, right? I struggle with it. Ask my wife,
I do too, yeah. We're not loading out the garage. Right. We're just moving stuff around.
Yeah, kids' toys in my way. I'm gonna kick those out of the way like shackles, bro. Like,
get
the fuck out of here, dude. I gotta walk.
Yeah. It's
it's hard. It's hard habits to break. But
I had a hard time when I would get home and I just would look at my son and just be like, have some pride in what you're doing. Like, I've dropped that one on some dudes before who were just like really not pulling it off. And I'm like, dude, have some pride. Yeah. And when you say that to a 10-year-old, it's kind of like, oh, come on, man, you got to check yourself. You're not on the road.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from with this. So then let's get into these next couple tracks because this is awesome the way you're laying it out. This is exactly what I wanted to do because you explained this to me in a 45-minute car ride, but it wasn't long enough. And then we had a gig that we were going to or something, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. And we're driving to New York. And
yeah.
Bad. Yeah. So that got us to Turn, the dinosaurs, mass extinction event, interesting stuff to me. And then track 4, Us, right? That's this era.
Yeah.
Us, right? The kind of bullshit that we're doing, like the story of it's us. We're humanity. Yeah. So that era, that got a song.
Dude, would it be all right? I mean, we played a little bit of it on the Christmas special, but would it be okay if we played a little bit of that right now, that track?
Yeah, whatever one you want. Yeah.
I don't want to play all the tracks because then people wouldn't go get your album, but
you can get them
if
all. If
we could play a little bit of Us would be awesome, man.
Yeah, go for it.
If you're down. You want to take a break for a second?
Yeah,
while
sure.
we play it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Or you can listen, whatever.
Yeah. I've heard it a couple times.
Yeah.
25 million times to be exact.
Sounds pretty good in these headphones, though.
Yeah, it does.
The burnings have begun in fear of sudden suns. A hypnotic requiem as it scrapes its way above. The price of ancient rage, solemn testament to hate, persistent and dismayed, but you never looked away. The will is strong, but the mind is blown. I can see you spinning wildly. lessons are prescribed, now equal in their eyes. The deity denies mercy to its own creation. Now you carry on like nothing's wrong, as the rainbow speaks. What's done is done. The will is strong, but the mind is blown. I can see you spinning wildly, out of control. You're just one of us.
All right, you freeloaders, we're gonna let you go download the rest of that. If you want to hear the rest of the song, that's about a little more than halfway, but I'll just put it at that. But
Yeah.
Justin, it's fucking awesome, man.
You dig it?
Yeah, I dig it. And the whole album's like this, like
Yeah.
back to front, nonstop, and then a real mind blower at the end. Like you have to go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
meant to sneak up on you.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was us, and then Cycles is the next song. That one is the end of us. Like that's the next chapter. That's when the
That's what's
sun
next, huh?
the sun eats the earth or whatever. Yeah, it's all cycle, right? So
So I gotta ask. I don't want to slow you down, but in this, has extraterrestrial life come up at all, or like have you
yeah.
aliens or anything like that?
Yeah, so
Like-
I was checking this out because we're talking about numbers. We looked at that deep field thing,
Yeah.
right? Excuse me. So they say there's between 200 and 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. And if I'm wrong, scientists, it's somewhere around there. There's a lot. 200, 400 billion.
So was that photo that we were looking at from the Hubble telescope?
Yeah.
That's beyond the Milky Way, or that's
Yeah.
part of the Milky Way?
That is beyond.
Those are other galaxies, right?
Yeah, that's not looking through. So the Milky Way is a disk, right? It's flat, right? So I imagine it was, because they can look through the disk, right? And you see all our neighboring stars, but you look, up, or I don't know how they
Yeah.
do it. It's astrophysics, man. I just dabble.
Right.
But that is looking at other galaxies. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can see them. Side story. On my birthday, Tanya bought me a telescope.
Oh, no shit.
Because I'm
That's
into
cool.
all this shit.
Good
I was
gift.
like, I want a telescope. I don't know. I've never had one before. So we got it set up in my backyard. It's pretty nice. It's not one of those robotic ones that takes pictures and all that stuff. You have to point it, but it's got a pretty big mirror in it, and you can see stuff. You pointed at Saturn, you can see the rings on it. You pointed at Jupiter,
Really?
you can see the weather on Jupiter. Like the stripes and the moons and all that stuff. So just the other night, was the night before last, we had it out in the backyard, and we found Andromeda galaxy. Right?
Really?
Yeah. So we can see another galaxy from the backyard,
Wow.
And it doesn't look like these pictures on the internet because, it's a 8-inch telescope. It's not.
And it's crazy now because, like, when I was a kid, like, looking through a telescope was, like, a major, like, feat, right? Like, to see anything or fucking, like, maybe I just had a shitty one or whatever. We probably did. We didn't have a whole lot of money, right? Like, it was, like, a hand-me-down from, like, the 50s or something,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
But, like, now somebody was telling me there's some sort of, like, apps that you can get on your phone or something, and it'll tell you, like, the coordinates, like, how to
100%.
point it.
That's how I find
shit.
stuff. Yeah. They have all this software. Like, the apps are cool, and you can find the constellations and where the planets are. And, with its, GPS or whatever.
Right.
You turn it around and it's like
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what it was. It was like
you just point it up. You're like, okay, where is it? And you can search for stuff, and it'll tell you where to go. And
Really?
yeah, so it's a lot simpler probably these days, And they have the telescope I bought came with the software that is like the app on steroids,
Right.
And you can go on your desktop and like really get deep into it. It's all cataloged, and that's awesome. It's just bonkers how much stuff.
One of my favorite things, I'm sidetracking again here, but I got into starscape photography a little bit, like a long exposure.
Okay.
Have you looked into that at all? It's like
out taking pictures of.
Yeah. So I'm into taking photos, and I was just like, I always wondered how these photographers got these crazy starscapes kind of like this. But
yeah.
So you set your shutter speed at like 30 seconds where your shutter's open. So like you can
Just
pick a
soak in all the
subject
light,
like a barn or something. Jeremy, can you pull up Earth Iron Society is kind of like my fine art where I sell some of this stuff. But I think I got a starscape on there. So if you go to Society, this is a barn that's right up here, but like click on it's the third one down all the way on the right. And it's going to take a minute for it to load, but the sky doesn't look like that when you take the photo, right? So this is a barn that's, it's right up in Three Sisters. That little orange glow that you see is where we're sitting now. So that's the lights of Evergreen, which you can see it's not very light out there, right? So it's picking up that light, but look at all the stars that it picks up just from.
It's
so like
exactly,
that'll show you what's up there. It's like
it's exactly
fucking
like
mind-blowing.
that Hubble pointing into nothing,
right?
And then picking up all that stuff. The sensors are pulling in that light, and kind of, I don't know, layering it on top of each other. I don't know. It's pulling.
Well, it's crazy. So it's light trails, but the thing about stars is they're a constant, right? The sun is typically in one spot, and maybe it travels a little bit as we're orbiting or rotating, or the Earth's rotating or whatever, right? So yeah, there's probably is a little bit of light bleed, and that's probably part of it. So if you do a super long exposure, like
there'll be stripes, right?
Like an entire 12 hours, then it turns into stripes. Or if you've ever seen those photos of a car going down the road and you can see the tail lights the whole way.
It's because that's
a 30-second or however long it took from that
the shutter's
car to
been left open, and it just smashes
so it shows you all that.
Yeah,
the light trails basically.
Yeah, it's a trip when you look at when you're finding Saturn with the telescope in the backyard. Like this telescope is, you have to point it. Like you have to turn it, and
right.
They have computerized ones that'll just find stuff and track it and stick on it and follow it and all that stuff.
Wow.
But this is more of a, it's a nice starter, like a high-end starter telescope. I wanted to start from the beginning. I didn't just want to get the T4000 with all the shit on it before I know what I'm doing. I want to start from the beginning. That's the right way to do it. But anyway, you pointed at Saturn and you're looking at the eyepiece, and that, I don't know, it's maybe like 15 seconds or something, and it travels all the way across.
Right? Yeah.
You watch it move.
Yeah.
It's moving.
Yeah, so I would have to go and look at my metadata for this photo, but I don't even think this was that long of an exposure.
Yeah.
I think this was maybe like, it wasn't 30 seconds, because 30 seconds they'd be stripes.
Yeah.
And I don't really see any trail. I mean, there's a few in there, but
that's awesome. And
but it just shows you what's out there, and that's one thing that I love about photography is like you can catch so much more in that, and the cameras are so much better than the actual human eye. Like if you zoom in on it, if you have a full frame, like high, nice DSLR, and it doesn't $2,000 camera. Like I've taken photos of my daughter and been able to zoom in and see my reflection in her eye. Like that's how.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, they didn't have that stuff when we were kids.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't mean to sidetrack you.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It all fits into the same stuff.
Yeah.
The telescope is super cool because now there's something about it too. The telescope, because we're looking at all these pictures on the internet and it's rad, and you can look at a picture of Saturn. When you look through a telescope, it's going from that planet into your eyeball. It's not going. It's not going from that into a camera and then into a computer
and then getting
into another
enhanced,
computer and then getting enhanced and coming. Like you're watching it happen. So that's like what feels like the beauty of the telescope.
Yeah, it's crazy because with a camera you can capture something like this that you can't see, but like to recreate what you're seeing in a sunset.
Yeah.
Is damn near impossible, man. Like if it's a mind-blowing one, like we had one here the other night that Jeremy, we were recording a podcast with Zach or something. Jeremy's like, stop the podcast. You got to come outside, dude.
Get
this
out
is
here.
fucking insane. And it was, dude. It was like the entire sky was like this purple waves and streaks. It looked like a Vincent Van Gogh painting. It was a real mind fuck.
Yeah.
But then
we
on
get
the opposite end of
we get the ones that look like Maxfield Parrish paintings. It's just this weird tone that it like engulfs the entire area.
Love it.
It's wild.
Yeah, that's fun.
But then sometimes you can take a photo of just like a normal sunset and all the shit that you can do in Lightroom now and stuff, you can make it look like it's this incredible, colorful
right.
sunset.
Well, I noticed that.
You know, it's wild. So
like a lot when you're taking, I don't know much about photography. I do take pictures with my phone like we all do. And I'll see something and I'll be like, oh, this is a beautiful sunset. I'll take a picture and then I'll show it to somebody later. And I'm like, well, it's so much less impressive when I look at it later, because I don't know what I'm doing, or it just can't capture that feeling, or it just,
or to capture it all, like that panoramic, you know, like
your whole
hard.
field of view kind of thing. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. We went through so Witness, right? So I needed another track, and I always dug on one of the Tool albums. I don't know which one it is, but like after the last song, it just played for like, 6 minutes of silence or something.
Right.
And then like you leave it on accident around the house, and then like this weird shit starts happening.
And this is what I was explaining in the hotel room. So I listened to I was jamming out, doing my thing. I think I was doing something for the podcast on my computer or something. And all of a sudden I hear like this radio chatter, and I was like, this is why I love Justin, because like that track that you put together for Show Ready is so fucking awesome, dude. Like the intro and outro to it.
Oh, the one
cool.
for the show.
The radio chatter and all that stuff going on.
Yeah,
but
similar.
This sounded like some military shit. And I have some former like SEAL buddies and stuff that we've met through the podcast. And so now I'm on their Instagram feeds, and they actually, sometimes these guys are posting stuff that's actually happened, like radio chatter of them taking fire or whatever. I don't know where these videos come from, but they are legitimate war photos of gnarly shit happening. And like, not so much to the point, well, sometimes there's people dying in them, but it's not like a faces of death thing, but it'll just be like them taking fire and the radio chatter going on. So my ears perked up right away, because that stuff's always intriguing to me. Like, what the fuck are these guys going through right now, and how are they even communicating and keeping their composure while they're taking, fire in 9 directions?
It's a
Like in
different.
the beginning of Cleared Hot.
Yes, yeah. So like Andy Stump has a podcast, and he's a former SEAL, and the intro to his podcast is him like skydiving into something, I think, or something, right? Is it?
I don't think so.
No.
They're asking for permission or something, or
right.
I forget exactly.
It's wild.
I forget what the conversation is.
It's the actual
baddest
chatter.
ass fucking intro. You think we could get away with playing it?
Probably you could take it out. Yeah. Can you?
I don't know. Maybe that's a bad idea.
The audio won't.
We should get Andy's permission. Just go listen to Cleared Hot podcast. It's a great podcast, dude. So just go listen to that. But anyways, that made my ears perk up, because I've always kind of loved that. That's one thing I loved about rock and roll, and that's why when I reached out to you to make the Show Ready thing, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to, like, that was one of the funnest things for me when I was stage managing, was walking bands, because like there's this intensity, especially if it's a rock band or you're in a certain city or country or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you start from a dressing room that's completely silent. And as you're walking down these long hallways and there's shit going on, there's roadies in the background and stuff. And then as you get closer to the stage, you start to cue the lighting guys that are standing at the board, and they're like, okay, kill the house lights. And boom, the lights go out, and then the crowd erupts.
Yeah.
And it goes insane, and you can hear them erupting in the hallways, and you're surrounded by concrete. And as you get closer to that, it just gets louder and louder and louder until you get to the stage, and you talk about goosebumps, man. Like,
yeah, you can hardly take it.
I love that feeling. And then especially like on some of these shows, we'd have concussion grenades going off at the start of the show. So like as soon as you walk on the stage, it's like kaboom, dude, and you can't even, like, you're stunned, right? Like, so I thought that was always like the baddest ass part of my gig, was always like walking a band or something.
The closest
like
thing I got to that was like I did the house lights cue.
Yeah.
You know,
same thing, dude.
Stage manager would tell me, and I would be on radio, and I would cue the house.
Even if I wasn't walking the band, like there was times where I was just a lift operator, right? Like an automation tech. And like when I was out with Lil Wayne, and he was big into rock and roll. I think it was the Carter 3, something like that. But we had, I want to say it was 8 concussions in the first like 15 seconds of the show.
That's a lot.
And I mean, we were fucking banging out. I mean, we were doing at least 5 shows a week probably. And we were doing, you know, city after city, nothing crazy. I mean, we had it down, dude. Like the Carpenters were killing it on that tour. We had so much free time and had such a great time. And he was cool to work for, actually, believe it or not. Like you would, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, because he was actually one of the good ones in my book, man. Out of all the rap stars I worked for. Yeah. And it was cool because he had like kind of that rock and roll deal. But I remember at the start of that show just sitting there, because I had a cue at the very beginning, but then for the rest of the concussions, I couldn't move around the stage because there was so much pyro. It was like you couldn't leave where you were at.
You had to sit
So
still,
I started a game with myself. I was like, I'm going to try not to blink or flinch when these concussions go off. I'm going to train myself. Dude, 2 years, I couldn't get it down, dude. Not one
you were practicing.
It's like I was practicing for war, dude. And
that
it
shit is
doesn't matter,
loud.
man.
It's a bomb. Yeah, those things are.
Did that hair on your arm stop standing up when after a while?
Well, it's crazy because I've never gotten goosebumps from like a singer.
Right.
But the energy of people, or like if you're at a big festival and you see when the band walks onto stage, you see all the heat exasperate from them, and you see like heat fumes, and it's wild, dude. It's trippy. Like I used to watch stupid shit like that, and I'd be like, that's what would blow me away.
Yeah.
And I take that back. One singer did give me goosebumps. We were doing the Super Bowl halftime, and this is after I stopped touring. And it was actually Super Bowl 50, which the whole thing was just fucking amazing for me. But Lady Gaga sang the national anthem, and it was during the rehearsals. So it was just myself. Kyle was with me. Yeah. My buddy Kyle from Show Ready.
Yep.
It was me, Kyle, the designer, and like a couple people from her management. And they were the only people allowed in the stadium because we had to roll out this little like podium for her to sing on.
Had to be there. Yeah.
Dude, she came in and belted that out, and she gave me goosebumps because, number one, I'm super patriotic. So like, I think that was part of it. The other part was the Denver Broncos were coming to play in Super Bowl 50. We were the only people in the stadium, and her voice is fucking incredible. And to hear it in an empty stadium like that, I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps right now.
Yeah,
talking about
cried a little bit, man.
Yeah, there's a tear coming down my big fat face. Yeah, just like, why is the big guy crying over there?
Is he okay? Did he run over his
She
foot?
was a sweetheart too, man. Super nice. I think she was just as excited to be there. That's probably why she belted it out, you know? Like,
yeah, I did a little gig for her. She did this weird tour. It was like a bar tour or something.
Okay.
Lady Gaga plays at bars. Okay. It was weird. We did a bar in Hollywood, and she did several of them. And, you know, we went in, put a pipe and bass and way too many lights, and she played this gig, and at first, you know, going from selling out stadiums to being in a bar, it was an odd situation. But then she pulled in like super fans came and watched it, you know, like they packed the bar with super fans. And after the show, she lined them all up and she talked to every single person that was there and signed autographs for every person, you know?
So fucking rad.
And like shook their hand, hugged him, said what's up, and talked to him for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And she could have bounced, you know, like a lot of
Right.
people do. But yeah, so I admired that. I thought that was a cool thing.
That's awesome. Some video. One of my good friends
the dive
from
bar
the
tour.
touring
Yeah.
world was her personal bodyguard for a long time. Now I think he's doing Billie Eilish or something. But shout out to Steve Sullivan.
Very
Sully.
dramatic lighting there. Somebody did a really nice job.
It looks pretty good.
It looks
yeah.
amazing, dude.
Like it's a
You wanna
bar.
hire that guy.
It's just like a bar.
But she used to. It was crazy when I was out with the Killers. We were on kind of the same festival run. So it was before she really hit it big, and she was just doing like European festivals. So we'd run into each other in the airport. But she would always make Sully's this huge Irish ex-Marine,
Yeah.
like 300 pounds, dude. Like nobody you would want to fuck with.
Yeah.
And she'd make him carry her purse, and he'd always carry it like this, like through the airport and shit. Yeah,
What the fuck?
it's pretty funny.
It's like I'm on the job.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
Sully, nice purse.
Don't make me put
Yeah.
this purse down. Fucking
Don't shove that purse up your ass, dude.
oh fuck you up. Wow. Good stuff.
But yeah, sorry. Back to the radio chatter,
Yeah.
dude. That went
So-
down memory. So that's why I was so intrigued by that.
Yeah, so it creeps up on you like it's silent for a little while,
Yeah.
and then
Is it kind of like? Is it because of the way I envisioned it? And you told me to open the album because what is said at the end is in Russian, and I don't want to spoil it for
Correct.
anybody.
yeah.
But like leading up to it, is that in your mind when you guys were putting together that chatter and stuff? Was that like exploring space, or were they in space, or this is after the world's gone, or humanity?
So
or
this
something?
so have you ever seen like those old space movies like 2001 Space Odyssey, whatever, some like you're in space and some shit goes wrong and
Right.
like something happens. So this to me was like a Russian cosmonaut, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty popular in the space game.
Yeah.
So he's in a spaceship and he's looking at Earth, and something bad is happening to Earth, right? This mass extinction. There's a fucking asteroid coming, and
Right.
he's going to be left in space forever, you know, until he dies, whatever. And that chatter at the beginning is the Earth like reaching out to the spaceship, right? And they're like, you know, is anybody out there? We're fucked here. Like,
Right.
like this is the last transmission, and this guy can, has a bird's eye view of the Earth getting destroyed, right?
Oh, and he's telling you
And
what's
he-
going on.
And he reads what's inside here, you know, and that's what he's saying back to them.
All right, I can't wait to
And
read
that's
that
it.
now. So
Yeah.
we're not gonna do it on here. You got to buy the album, right, to get that.
Yeah, dude, it's right on the inside. You got to open it and
Okay,
check it
I'm
out.
gonna open it
Yeah,
as long as you get me another copy.
I will.
Yeah,
I
when
will.
I open this one, I'm gonna have you sign it too, because
Yeah.
dude, to me, okay, so we haven't even got into like the artwork too that went behind this. I think is super rad. But to close out on just the music portion of it, the whole album is fucking top notch, man. Like it's well produced, well mastered. Like
Thank you.
yeah,
I appreciate
I
that.
know how much work goes into that. So
I really do.
I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I wore a lot of hats in this, you know. I'm a lighting guy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And during this pandemic, I really tried to up my skills with the studio recording. You know, I took some classes. I did my best. There's a bunch of stuff that never makes it out of the room, you know?
Right.
And this is the best stuff I'm done. So I'm proud of it. I'm glad people like it. I'm glad you like it. And
It's fucking awesome, man.
I'm just
I was
stoked on it.
I was telling Jeremy and Tanya before, like when you went to the restroom real quick when we were playing the song, I was like, you know, all the time that I've known you, and then the pandemic came along, like I knew you as just Justin, right? Like the guy that drives a VW van.
Yeah.
He's a vegetarian and like, you know, just super cool, like laid back dude, like calm, like I wouldn't classify you as a hippie because you don't listen to like hippie music, but I was like, Justin's always like kind of like my hippie buddy, dude. Like you're just when all the shit's hitting the fan, like you're always the calm one at the gig, dude. Like you're my go-to because I don't like chaos, right? So I'm like, the fuck is going on? And you've seen me freak out probably 100 million times.
I freak
right?
out sometimes too. You know, I have my days.
But you keep it under the weather, right? So the first time I heard your music, I was blown away. I was like, this came out of you? Like, I was in shock, dude. I was like, holy shit.
It's a trip. People don't expect it, you know?
Tanya was just telling me about the first time you played drums live, so I can't wait to see that all go down and some of the video that you're going to start putting out. So.
It's the coolest part about all this stuff is, like, really, music to me is I'm communicating with people, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, it's fun to play. Like, the reason to put music out is to like communicate something to somebody. Yeah. It's like, you know, instead of using words, I'm using music or.
Sure. It's like a photographer capturing a moment in time, right? I want to show this to the world.
100%. Yeah. I'm trying to communicate what I felt when I designed this photo or whatever, you know? Right. So the coolest part for me is just like sitting across from you and you listen to it and it made you feel something.
I got to tell you something too. I got to add to this. So the day that I listened to the album in its entirety, I'd listened to one of the news podcasts or something. I was listening to something and Biden was going to meet with Putin, right? Yeah. And there was like all this concern of like what was going to happen. And there always is, right? There was that when Trump went and did it too. But yeah. But anyways, so I'm there, I'm working, I'm just minding my own business, and all of a sudden this Russian's like, I'm like, wait a minute, is this shit like being transmitted through my phone right now? Or like I had to take a minute. I was like, okay, no, it's Justin's album still playing. Thank you, dude. That's like the timing couldn't have been better for like my mind just to be where it was at because I literally listened to that morning, and then I think it was that evening I was listening to the album, and that's just like
the whole intention and experience could not have. That's exactly what I hoped happened. You know, like it catch somebody off guard. And with the Russian, that dude, Roman Nemtsev, I think his name is, he played lead guitar on an older track of mine, Shadows, a song that came out a while back. And he's a session guitar player, and he's from Russia, you know?
Oh, shit. So he's the Russian voice? And
he's the guy, yeah. I was like, so dude, I sent him this thing, and I was like, I need you to kind of...
Can you read this, please?
Yeah, he's like, I don't really, like, that's not my thing. What should I sound like? And I'm like, dude, you're in a spaceship, all right? Check it out. Yeah. There's a fucking asteroid going to blow up the whole planet, and you're reading this back to some guy, you know, some U.S. fucking ground operations space agency guy. And he's like, all right, I could do that. Yeah. So, and I was like, here's the script and here's the vibe. And
that's awesome.
He tracked it, you know.
That's so cool, man.
I mean, that just shows what you put into this album is you actually had a script and a thought process behind it. It wasn't like you go sit in your room and ding, 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 this sounds kind of cool. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm more into this. That's why I'm more into Tool, and that's why I've always had a passion for music. Is almost sometimes the meaning behind it or the feeling that I get from it. So,
well, I dug like concept albums of like the 70s.
Yeah,
you know, like a Pink Floyd The Wall.
Yeah,
I love that. Like, there's insane. A story. You know, like I would watch that movie on acid. And it would blow my mind, you know, and I just love that they put that into that. They squeezed the artwork into there. They squeezed the story into there, and then they let all that story come, you know, broadcast itself through the music, you know. And I'm not comparing this with Pink Floyd The Wall, you know. I'm just saying that I dig that idea.
But those are some of your influences to create something.
Yeah, I like a full concept. You know,
does anybody do that anymore?
It's rare.
That's why I love this, man.
It's rare.
It's like I feel like song remains the same. Like all that.
Right.
I feel like that was an era.
Absolutely, people used to do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I dug that. And you'd get the vinyl, you know, and it would fold out, and there'd be 2 discs like this.
Dude, I have Dark Side of the Moon, like original from the 70s with the original poster in it and all that shit, dude. Like, I love all the extra stuff that used to come with it. And then when they stopped doing that, it was just kind of like, that is my one gripe about the digital age. Like, if you want anything extra, you got to dig deep or go to a website or, like, you know.
And like, the CD thing is kind of like, it's kind of like I made tapes or something. Right. I mean? Like, if you put this in your CD player yet? Right. Your compact disc player?
I don't even own one.
Not many people do.
Actually, I do in my truck. I put a Sublime CD in there, and I can't figure out how to eject it because it's like an Apple CarPlay.
No, that truck is permanently the Sublime mobile.
Thank God it's Sublime in there because I could listen to that. Yeah. You know, it's 40 ounces to freedom.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Lifetime.
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. It's like it was after the tape and before MP3s is this format, you know. But it's kind of like the last physical. Copy of something that you could have.
I mean, I guess there is kind of a resurgence in vinyl a little bit.
Yeah,
which is
there's
cool.
People doing that, and that's killer. And I admire people that get these older formats and get into it. You know, I wanted to get a fucking 8-track player, install that in my car, get some Kenny Rogers 8-tracks out, and you know, like that would be vintage to me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, so the CD, it's like that Tool CD I was telling you guys about. Like, I bought that so I could have that experience of something physical, and I got to watch that, you know, limited video, and, you know, the pull out the thing and flip through it and, you know, read the lyrics and everything. But I listened to it, my digital download. That's how I listened to it.
Right.
But I had that thing in my hand while we checked it out. We're reading it and looking.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I mean, that's is one reason why I love Tool. Is like just all those little extra stuff, you know.
Yeah, and that's mostly why I made this physical copy is so there could be some part of that.
Fuck, I should have opened it, dude. I figured, it's just a CD in there.
Dude, open it. Open it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now.
There's a giant knife right here. If you need
be careful, dude. That thing is wickedly sharp. I'm gonna use my safer knife over here.
Oh my god! So just slice you right in half.
Yeah, that was. So my buddy Andy Arabito from Half Face Blades.
Oh, that's one
makes
of his
those knives. Yeah,
I just started following him. You tagged me in a thing.
Oh,
he's having a contest.
He's doing all these giveaways and stuff.
And I was looking at his knives; they're unbelievable.
I picked that up. Jeremy's been helping me with the podcast for 2 years, and I don't think there's not a better gift to give or receive than one of these. So I gave it to him last night.
He got that for me.
Wow!
Last
night?
Then I took it away from him.
Thank God.
It was exactly 3 seconds before there was blood on the floor.
Oh, this is sweet, dude.
I gave it to my wife was cutting a piece of steak for my dog tonight, and I gave it to her, and she went, "Here, take this back." She's like, "This is too fucking sharp."
It's too much. It's like carrying a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So, dude, this is awesome, man. How do you even get something printed like this anymore? Is there a company out there that does?
There's a manufacturing place.
Okay.
You can get you can do pretty much whatever you want, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the form. You can get it very simple, just an envelope and the CD.
But they'll
pulls
do all
out.
this extra stuff for you.
So that's a 4-panel thing, you know, because I had some extra stuff that I wanted to be.
I don't want to rip it.
So do you?
That's it. You're looking at the whole thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you call them and then speak to a rep, or like how do you get?
It's all digital. It's like you're.
Do you design it then? Like you?
So I worked.
Upload all the artwork.
Yeah, some of that stuff gets kind of hard because there's these DPIs and CMYK and all this.
Yeah.
So I had a girl, Amanda Mullins, and she was the graphic designer. So when I got into trouble, I could have her, log in and do all that technical stuff.
Yeah, because I wanted to
you're nervous. You don't want to fuck it up.
No, but that's what I was saying to Bobby when you went in the other room. I'm like, how long this is a year?
Yeah, just about
A
about
year,
10 months. Yeah,
10 months to go to assembling a band, basically. Coming up with artwork, coming up with lyrics. Like, this is stuff that takes
Yeah.
a really long time.
Look at this.
And to do it well is ridiculous. It's insane to me.
Look at this
Yeah.
after
I wouldn't
you
have
know,
been
after
able.
Justin explaining it. Look at the artwork. You know, like that makes a lot more sense now. Like,
Finding an artist that you like, finding someone whose voice you like, finding
Yeah, so
it's insane.
there's a whole team, and I would like to shout them out. So they,
dude, shout them all out. Take as long as you need.
So I did drums and guitar, right? And then I was the overall producer and assembled the team and did the basic layout. And then I engineered it and did all the audio stuff. But the team was Phil K, old lighting guy. I've known
Awesome,
him
love that.
since I was probably 21 or 22. Known him forever. And he was the lyrics guy, right? I was like, he's the poet, right?
Right.
So Phil K on lyrics. I had this list laid out that first day when I was writing that paper. I was like, this is the staff, you know? I haven't even told them yet. You know what I mean? I was like, this is who I want. This is who would fill the shoes, and these are all the people I need to contact.
Yeah.
And so Phil K on lyrics, Aaron Cloutier on vocals, Maria Kosma on bass, Timon Kokkott. I hope I'm saying that right. Timon.
Is that the Russian guy?
No,
Oh, okay.
this is the artist.
Oh, okay.
Right. I met him on Instagram. I saw he was doing a bunch of metal bands, and so I was like, I'm gonna contact this dude. He's the artist for this, and Timon, Timon. Yeah, bam. That's the
If
guy.
you want to send me a list of these people and their Instagram pages, we'll tag live links, and you can go check out all their stuff from the show notes.
Yeah, dope.
Yeah.
We will. Yeah, and there
if
it
you're
is.
listening to this right now.
So he's posted it.
Oh,
there.
that's dope, man.
That's when he put it up. These are, I saw this band artwork, and I was like, dude, I got to give this. Like, this guy's really talented. I want to.
He needs to
hire
design
him for
my
this.
next Christmas sweater for the mountainside, dude. I want yeah.
You'd get something pretty metal. I'll tell you that.
I'm a metal guy, dude. So
I'll tell you that.
yeah.
But so Timon on artwork, and then Amanda Mullins as graphic designer, because there's a whole. After you have the artwork, there's the whole funneling it into the system. To
making
be
sure it's sized right, all that shit, right?
And that's a specialty in itself. So this list of 6 or 7 people were really the staff that let me get this far, because I couldn't do this all on my own.
Yeah.
And I was just the one that assembled it, picked out the people and assigned the jobs, and they fed it all back to me, and I used those parts to create this. So that's kind of how it went down for me.
So rad. And that's an actual. You were showing me when you were getting, because we've kind of been in touch over the last year, and you're like, this is what I'm working on, and like that artist Timon.
Yeah.
Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Jeremy, make sure you give him a follow too on Instagram so I can find him. But that's an actual painting, right? Like he made you a painting or something?
Yeah, dude,
like,
it's on my wall in my studio.
That's rad, dude.
It's like, I don't know, 20.
So he
30 by 30.
he painted it first, and then he turned it into digital art, or is that the actual painting?
Yeah, so that is that's the actual painting. I think they digitize it, right?
Okay.
That's so he mailed me the painting, and then he sent me digital copies of it as well. I don't know if I guess you photograph it. I don't know.
I don't know. Some of these digital artists are so fucking crazy now. Like,
because
I've been dealing with some of them in the outdoor space. Like, there's this dude Travis Parr that does all the Icelandic skis. Jeremy, pull up some of his stuff, man. He's out of Laguna, but he's from Evergreen. It's Parr Studios. Scroll down. It was just up there, I think. Yep. Dude, this guy is crazy. Like, or if you go to Icelandic skis too, Like, look at these skis, dude. So this is a national park run that they did. So he paints this, and then he does all kinds of crazy stuff. And this is on a pair of skis, dude. Like,
digital,
pretty awesome.
digital painting,
Yeah.
right? I've seen bits of that. Timon does some work with that too, where there's a tablet and like an electronic pen, and
there's these other guys,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna screw this up, but there's some other guys out there like, God, I wish I could
that is
name drop them,
nuts.
but we're talking about having them on the podcast and stuff too. A lot of this stuff that Travis Barr does is freehand, I think, and then they digitize it
Okay.
or painting, right? But there's some artists out there that are doing it on tablets for like T-shirt designs and
Right.
and all this other stuff.
There's
Like,
got to be a million methods
dude,
of how they do it.
It's incredible.
It's yeah, because I imagine, doing a sketch or something, and then maybe scanning that, and then maybe painting it with the digital tools or something like that. There's probably a million ways to do it. I don't know.
So, dude, where did it?
I gotta ask, where did you start? Like, I mean, have you always had a passion for music? And when did you decide, like, hey, I'm just gonna start creating my own?
There was an actual moment in time, and I'll tell you about it if you like. And it involves a dude that was supposed to play the show we were at, Dave Mustaine.
Oh,
Right?
really?
He was there
Yeah.
when it all happened. Yeah. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Megadeth show.
Yeah. it got something went weird. It didn't go down, and then I think Metallica was gonna play, and then nobody played. But
Well, what was the whole thing with that? Because just
I don't remember.
I think whoever was in charge of it didn't know the difference between Metallica and Megadeth, so they were like, "Yeah, it's Megadeth that's playing at 9:00 in the morning in a park in San Francisco or something."
Wait, was
right?
that just fairly recently?
It was not too long ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
And
you
we
were telling
can't
me
really
about that.
get too into
No,
details,
no.
but
You were telling me about.
But anyways, the band ended up being Metallica, but somebody kept calling it Megadeth. So the entire gig, we're just like, yeah, Megadeth's playing, dude. Like,
yeah, it's just
But
somebody.
this guy had no idea even the backstory behind that. I don't think.
Right, it
Yeah.
just crisscrossed in his
Yeah,
head. It's
yeah.
like same difference, same band to
Yeah,
him.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Those guys. But yeah. So I was, I was into punk when I was a skater kid. When I was from 10 to 15. Like I listened to Suicidal Tendencies and Circle Jerks and Minor Threat, and that was my jam. And Suicidal Tendencies was kind of metal punk,
Yeah, they're right on the edge.
Yeah, and then I started getting into Slayer, and like I started wanting to go to shows, and like when I was real young, like there was punk shows in our area in Ventura County.
yeah, big
there was
time.
a scene, but my parents knew better than to turn their kid loose in this
Yeah.
scene. So they
How
wouldn't,
old were you?
like in when I
Like,
was-
how old are you now? You're 50?
I am getting there. I'm not.
You're not 50.
I'm
are
old
you?
enough to not know right off the bat how old I am.
Okay.
I'm 47 or 48.
Okay.
And I'd have to do
Dude,
math.
so you were like in the prime of all the bands because I was a little bit after that. Like I was more like the Pennywise era, like No Effects, like
yeah,
the
there
bands
was
that kind of came after, like Black Flag, Minor
there
Threat.
was some
all
cool
that.
shit happening,
So did you ever go to Hermosa and like to
No,
any
that's-
shows there or
that's
anything like that?
the thing. Like I just, when the real cool stuff
And your
was
dad
going
was
down.
a cop too, right, or
Yeah,
something like that?
he worked
Yeah.
for the sheriff's
Okay,
department,
yeah.
and I just maybe I just didn't hook up with the right kids that had cars or
Right.
whatever it was. I didn't get to many shows when
Yeah,
I
that's
was
a long
real
ride
young,
down to Hermosa, but
Right. When when you're 14,
especially in
like,
LA, dude,
it's-
you
it's
just
a
kind of
million
stay
miles
in your
away.
hood. Like that's what you do there. Yeah.
And that's what I did. But then I started getting 15-ish, 16, I don't know, somewhere in that neighborhood, and I was really into music. I was really into skateboarding, and I was getting more into metal and listening to bands like Slayer and Morbid Angel, more death metal, and like getting as extreme metal as I could, and like just loving music. When I was a kid, I just loved it so much. It was part of the culture. Like you skated and you listened to punk rock and you trash things, and you like, this is what I do. This is my full-time job. And that's what I love, and I loved being a kid around that. It was
I love that.
great
too, man.
time to grow
God
up.
damn, it was
And
awesome.
so there's a venue in our town called Ventura Theater, right? And it's, 1,300 capacity, somewhere around 1,500 capacity theater. And, you know, in the early 90s, rad bands were coming around. You know, Soundgarden played there, and, you know, Slayer would play there, and Megadeth played there, right? Yeah, so let's get to that Megadeth show, right? So I'm either 15 or 16. I'm not exactly sure. But I got a ticket to this Megadeth show, and it's kind of like the first big show that, you know, with lights and a theater, and, you know, it's the first show. Might have been the first show I've ever been to. I can't remember exactly, but we get into this Megadeth show, and me and my buddy are like, rad, we're at this big metal show. There's a ton of people. It's like all new. It's just like my first big show, and like I'm stoked, you know, and all these metal bands are gonna play. And we're like, we should definitely take a bunch of acid right now, right? So
this is a good idea.
Yeah, this is going to be great. This is going to be we should do this, right? And so, like, we take some acid, and, you know, we're seeing friends from school, and, like, things are starting to get a little electric, you know what I mean? And the opening bands are done, and they were more like heavy. Like it was thrash metal, right? They're opening for Megadeth, so it was a little darker, heavier metal. And you know how it is on a tour. Like you don't get to use all the shit if you're an opening band. You don't get to use all the lights. Like you get a couple. You get red
truss.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You know. So Megadeth comes out. They pull the drapes off the drum set, right? And you know, it's got like these radioactive symbols on the kick drums, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like my shit is kicking in. Like
you're on a good one.
It's starting to happen right now, right? Like it's all starting. And they're doing mic check, right? And they're checking the kick drum mics, right? And fucking they're like, cool, next one. And like I felt that shit.
We're talking
in my
double
heart.
kicks here, people.
Like
you're not a metal band unless you have double kicks.
Yeah, I have them. I mean, I'm saying, but they're doing the mic check, and like I felt that, and I'm not saying it's because I was on acid or whatever, but
dude,
like,
that can trip you out sober because if they have the logo on there, like the sound waves make it bounce and vibrate and shit, and like
they're testing the PA, right? So like, and I'm somewhere near the speakers, you know. And that's coming, you know, through the microphone, out of the PA and into my chest. And, you know, you've been to at mic check when you're too close to the damn subs and they're checking the kick drum and it like.
Especially if it's a metal band.
Yeah, you feel it in your bones, dude. Yeah. And I felt that, and like, I was like, dude, that's what I want to do.
And you feel it in your wisdom teeth, dude.
You can. You can. It shakes your blood around in your body. And that moment, I remember it clear as day. I was like, I want to play the drums. That's the day that I'd never owned a drum set before. I'd never played drums, and I was like, that's what I want to do. From that mic check, right? Yeah. Like I don't know why that's why I did it. I was like, I want to kick the thing that makes that fucking noise and does this thing to your chest, right? Like I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna be a drummer for the rest of my life. We got that settled, right? And then they finished the mic check, and we're really tripping, right? And like the vibe is getting weird, and the house lights go out, right? And they have this whole scene. It was the album Rust in Peace, it was called, right? And it was like this epic radioactive government, you know,
like they always do.
Aliens, you know, government's hiding some stuff, and like shit is getting weird, right? So then their intro is like some beacon light smoke, you know, some beacon lights. So like sirens kind of going around, and there's like a siren going off, and there's like this whole intro, and the intro is like trying to herd the people, like, shit. Stay where you are, don't go anywhere. Like this is, you know, something is happening. There's radioactive, whatever. I wish I could get a tape of it or something. Yeah. But like, I started to forget where the fuck I was. You know what I mean? Like I was like,
the mosh pit got real.
Yeah, dude. Is this like, should we run or what? What is happening? Like they're telling us like something's.
It's bad. Like when I was in my hotel room, I was like, is Russia finally taking over?
Like, right. There's a moment.
My entire childhood, it was like we were scared of Russia. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
it's finally here. Yeah. It's finally here. Yeah. So there's that moment of like, should maybe,
Yeah.
you know.
Should I get the fuck out of here?
Yeah.
Or should I fuck somebody up, or what do I need to do? Yeah.
So I'm getting that vibe like this is getting out of control. Like something ain't right. The beacons to smoke. And then Dave Mustaine comes out and bam, and then they do this whole Megadeth show. And I'm just like,
saw Goldilocks, everything was cool.
Yeah. Like I was like, okay, this is Justin. You're just at a concert. It was just a weird intro, like, you're okay. And I'm still excited about that.
That's awesome.
This was fucking 30
Oh, dude,
plus
I
years
can
ago.
tell you so many intros to bands that I saw that are just mind blowing. Some of them on tour. Tool is one of them.
Oh, that one is
Dude.
nuts. Yeah, like
Every one of their intros is insane. I would see
Very
people
cool.
lose their shit at the opening of that. I mean, like just that white noise and static for 7 minutes, and you start seeing shit, and it's like an all white set. And then
that one.
they're
Sounds
wearing white
amazing.
jumpsuits to come onto the stage, and
I have got to see that. I've heard that. That's when you were with them, right? That was the setup then.
I mean, like people puking and stuff because of the
fucking awesome.
white noise sucks to begin with, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm pissed off whenever white noise is going on.
So tell me about that. The whole set is white, right?
Yeah, you don't even have to be on drugs, dude. So I could imagine if you were on acid or something like that. So
Which there's a high probability that you're high as fuck if you're at the Tool show anyway.
More than likely.
It's
yeah.
high, yeah.
Unless you're one of the road guys, and then you still might be high.
You might puke, yeah. Just
But everything, the entire set was white. Like Dana Carey, right?
Yeah.
His drum kit completely white, and I think it might have had chrome hardware, right? Or
sure,
something.
but the risers,
like, even
the
I
Marley,
think the cymbals were white somehow.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
it's wild. And then white Marley, white microphone stands, white monitor covers. It was a fucking nightmare to load in because every
Sounds like
stagehand is black and greasy and dirty.
Yeah.
And they're coming from whatever show was the night before. Not to mention it was a shed tour.
Oh,
so
dude,
this is like
what a mess.
It's
Yeah.
sheds, right? And on top of that, I'm not even going to get into those details because I do like Tool and I don't want them to be mad at me. But anyways, there was way too much shit on this tour, right, to begin with, right? And then there's this whole like proscenium cover. Everything was completely white. But at the beginning of the show, they mapped the stage with just like the black and white ants from the 1980s, on your television when you couldn't get anything on the dial.
Oh, television static.
Yes, television static, right? And it started with that, right? And white noise. And if for people that don't know what white noise is, it's just basically static noise.
At 9 million watts.
Yeah, and the audio guys would literally, I think that they would start it and then they start ramping up the dB, right? So this even agitates you more, right? Because they kill the house lights. The crowd goes insane. It's white noise.
They're hungry for what they came for. Yeah.
And then a minute goes by. Then they start to drop off that roller coaster ride and they're like, fuck, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then it's white noise again. And then they resurgence, they're like, and then there's the pissed off cheer after that, and then people start throwing shit or whatever starts happening, like just not good stuff. And then all of a sudden, fucking, you start seeing stuff. You watch that long enough. It was like those, what were those 3D like photos from like the late 80s or something? You would stare at it cross-eyed for a minute. Like you stared at one point, and then
you would see a 3D picture behind it. Yeah.
They
used to sell them at the mall.
It was like Jesus or something.
Oh shit! I saw Jesus.
It was like dinosaurs or sailboats or.
I always sucked at those.
It's a schooner. No, it's a sailboat.
Like I sat here for 15 minutes for that shit
with my eyes crossed, and
is this the one, Bobby?
I don't think so. And you know what's crazy about them is they didn't have a whole. I mean, I don't even know that you'll find any video footage of it. I mean, they were super.
You can't have video like
they're one of the most like protected bands when it comes to like having their shit out there. I think
Yeah.
But anyways, they would wear white jumpsuits to go onto stage, and the static's still being projected. So then all you start to see are some silhouettes and stuff like that. So now your mind's even, and then they would hit the stage, like they'd turn the mapping off and it was just mole fades, the brightest white light on a white background, and Maynard rip off his jumpsuit and be shirtless, and he had like 1911 belt buckle, as a pistol.
Yeah.
It was the total mindfuck, and I think they went straight into like The Pot or one of those badass songs like that.
A heavy
And all
hitter.
that- yeah.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, dude.
Yeah, it was
I would
awesome.
love to. I watched their show every night
Yeah.
when I was able to. Yeah, and when you're on tour, sometimes
Yeah, a lot
you
of times you're like, I'm going to the bus or I'm going to get coffee or whatever, dude. Fuck
I want to
this
take
show.
a nap. Yeah, dude, I
Yeah.
need to sleep this week.
And I don't know how many shows I had, like some of those bigger pop stars, where it'd be like I'd have 100 and some odd cues during the show that I had to pay attention to, because not
It's
every
tough.
cue might not have been mine, but they coincide with other things.
gotta
and
know
it's a
where yours
scripted
is,
thing,
yeah.
And there's moving shit. People could get killed, dude. Literally, like,
I haven't slept in 4 days, and this
dude,
point,
we had one stage jumper when I was on Rihanna that, like, he jumped on the stage and tried to get Rihanna, and she had like 7 security guards, and one of them fell in my lift hole, and I about fucking cut his leg off, dude.
my
Like,
God.
it was insane, dude. Like, a
it's
lot of moving
nuts.
parts on those big
Yes.
shows,
Yeah,
But
for sure.
but
But yeah, awesome intro to a show.
oh, dude, there's so many.
That's
too.
exciting.
Like,
Fuck, I want to see.
we could go
something
on
like
for
that.
hours, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and we will off the air. But
Yep.
dude, we've done over 2 hours.
Oh man,
This is awesome. We need to do this again. You're
We-
welcome here anytime, dude. And I'm sure we'll be on the road at some point again together. So
yeah,
it's hard to
awesome.
say no to a lot of these things. So,
Yeah, thank you so much for talking about the EP with me and hanging out.
dude,
and
it's so rad. And I encourage everybody, let's go help support Justin. You buy the CD, don't just get it for free. Like, help support the art, and hopefully you can create more, like
I
from the support.
I would love to. That would help fund the next project.
Yeah.
and I will put it in the mail myself and send it to you.
And then before we jump off here, though, let's drop, your website, any Instagram stuff,
Yeah, so-
Twitters, all that.
So the website, you can buy stuff at the store on the website. You can check out all my past videos and all my past music and all of my stuff. It's justintfreeman.com. That's the central nervous system for everything. The Instagram is JustinTFreeman_music. And, drop me a line there. Give me a follow. That would help spread the music out there. So that's my 2 major spots.
And what's next? I know you're out plugging the album, trying to get some exposure on that. Like,
Yeah,
you got any other podcasts lined up or anything like that? Or
not any podcast.
CD
but-
signings or any of that shit?
No, I'm
Let me be your manager, bro.
hook me up with some podcasts. I like doing this. I would love to talk to some people and do some more podcasts.
Yeah.
It's super fun hanging out with people and talking.
And people can get a hold of you through the website. Is there a way to contact you, or what's the best way? Through Instagram or something?
Probably through that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's probably the best way for the public to reach me.
Yeah. No bullshit either, people.
Yeah, no fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I don't need 10,000 followers tomorrow.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, probably through there to reach me. But I'm for music and art. I'm just I've had this thing in my hands for a little while,
Yeah.
So I'm always working on the next thing, So now I'm just actively playing as much music as I can. I'm fortunate enough to have a rehearsal studio, and I'm in there as much as possible, playing drums and coming up with the next songs, and I'm gonna put out some drum videos and play some of these songs and play.
And
some,
you have a
some other
YouTube channel
songs.
too, right?
Yeah.
Where you can listen to the music, and you're gonna start putting some content up there. Is
Yeah.
that- okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I did a video where I broke down some of the stuff I did in the audio software and pulling the tracks apart and listening to things isolated and
Awesome.
like getting deeper into stuff like
And
that.
if you guys open the show notes, wherever you're listening to this right now, there'll be links to all this stuff. So that's the easiest way to go get
Yep.
it. We can put a direct link to the CD if you want.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yep,
So
we'll get all that stuff
all
in
right.
there.
Awesome, man. Justin, this has been super fun, man. I appreciate you carving some time out of your
Hell yeah.
vacation. Tanya,
Awesome.
thank you. Jeremy, how we doing? Thank you. All right.
Cheers.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Happy holidays and all that stuff. Stay safe out there. Justin,
Cool.
sign us off.
Thanks, Bobby. See you next time. Later.
Thanks for listening to the Mountainside Podcast. If you haven't had a chance to do this already, please take a moment, follow, like, subscribe, or rate on whatever platform you catch the Mountainside Podcast at. Also, if you'd like some more information on upcoming episodes, safety tips, access to all of our affiliates, and all the badass discounts that we get here at the Mountainside Podcast, check out themountainsidepodcast.com. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that supports us on Patreon. You guys don't realize how much this helps to bring you amazing content with badass guests, pay our electric bill, and much more. So much love and thank you for your support. If you're new to the Mountainside Podcast and you like the content that we're creating here, the simplest way to support us is through Patreon. Not only are you supporting the Mountainside Podcast, you have the option to listen to us 100% ad-free and much more. Simply just visit patreon.com/the mountainside, or you can simply open the show notes wherever you're listening to the podcast right now and look for the Patreon link. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Uncanna CBD. If you're looking to trust a natural solution, then look no further than Uncanna to help you curb anxiety, get better sleep, helping with long-term pain, joint mobility, muscle recovery, and many other benefits. Then you need to try a full spectrum or broad spectrum CBD. And the only brand that I trust is Uncanna. I use their products daily, and I can attest to you of how well it works. Uncanna is also veteran owned and operated and is just an incredible company that lives in the outdoors. Whether they're sponsoring professional rock climbers, dirt bikers, skiers, and many other athletes, helping veteran communities get outside, this is an incredible company with an incredible product. Because they are a sponsor here at the Mountainside Podcast, and you're listening to this ad right now, you can receive 10% off your entire order every time that you visit uncanna.com. All you have to do is simply enter promo code TMS at checkout to receive 10% off your entire CBD order, apparel, canine products, or whatever Uncanna has to offer just by simply typing in the code TMS at checkout. Once again, that's promo code TMS at uncanna.com. There's nothing I love more than supporting America, showing my patriotism, and buying 100% American-made products. Origin Maine is one of the only companies that I found out there that makes an incredible product that's 100% designed, produced, grown, built, and manufactured right here in the USA. So if you're looking for 100% American-made boots, high-quality denim, jiu-jitsu gis, rash guards, hoodies, bags, Jocko Clean Energy Fuel, supplements, and much more, look no further than originmaine.com. If you want to support the U.S. economy, the U.S. workforce, then you can 100% trust Origin and the amazing people that are running this company. And because they are a sponsor of the Mountainside Podcast, you as a listener can truly reap the benefits of buying American-made products at a discount. All you have to do is simply use promo code TMS at checkout, and you will receive 10% off your entire order every time that you visit originmaine.com. Once again, that's promo code TMS, the number 10, TMS10 at originmaine.com. This episode of the podcast is also brought to you by Onnit and their amazing new supplement, Alpha Brain Black. If you've listened to this podcast before, you know I'm a huge proponent of nootropics, and I use them on a regular basis, and specifically Alpha Brain from Onnit. The new Alpha Brain Black label is there to give you that little extra boost when you need razor sharp focus, relaxed alertness, and simply just to get in the zone or your flow state. Whether you're getting into a workout, focusing on a task at hand, the new Alpha Brain Black label is the next level in nootropics. and you can only find it at onnit.com. Nootropics is not the only thing that Onnit has to offer. There's a ton of supplements, workout programs, meal replacements, and free information for you to reach total human optimization. If you've never visited Onnit before, I strongly suggest that you go check out their website. I'm sure that there's something there that can make you feel better, react faster, or help you reach your full potential. And here's the best part. Because you are a Mountainside listener, every time that you visit onnit.com, you can receive 10% off your entire order simply by entering the promo code TMS at checkout. Once again, that's promo code TMS at onnit.com.